Rob finishes NieR Automata for the first time, for the third time, for the last time. Speaking of time, he also beat Quantum Break. Not leaving well enough alone, using the power of the blue blood, he finishes Nights of Azure. Guess how many games Pete beat? Find out on episode 28 of
The Pile of Shame.
Geeks of all kinds, we know that struggle, that overwhelming pile of content to still finish. Conquer that pile and don't quit. Today's June 8th, 2017, and my name is Rob. I'm your host for this support group. I go by Chai Tea out there in the gamer world, and with me tonight, to help encourage you to keep up the fight against the growing pile, is one of my co-hosts. From the hot, rainy hills of the Puget Sound area, returning once again, buried beneath his pile, seeking out that next god-awful game to play so you don't have to. Reigning champion of Ride to Hell Retribution and seeking that chicken dinner is Pete. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I haven't found that chicken dinner yet, but I have positioned Ride to Hell Retribution behind me now that we're using the webcam. So it's if I lean out of the way, it is just over there. So it's obscured by my huge head most of the time. Oh my gosh. And it was actually very hot here, and it didn't start raining until today. So.
Right. Yeah, I had actually written rain-free, and then I found out it was raining, so I went ahead and changed that. So.
Anyhow, thank you. Glad to be here with a lot to show.
Right, a lot to show for it since we haven't gone together in a month, so I'm sure you've beaten at least one or two games by now.
Absolutely. So. We'll get to that later.
All right, well, let's figure out what's keeping you from playing games in delay of game. All right. So, Pete, what is keeping you from playing games?
Well, I'm trying to think how this started. We've canceled a couple of these things now, haven't we? So it was, I think the first time it was work, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always fun. That's a favorite, right? It's very boring to just say work over and over again, but it keeps happening somehow.
Right.
I guess that means continued employment, which is good, but
gives you money to buy more games.
that I also won't beat. Except, I don't want to spoil the podcast. There could be games I beat later. We'll find out.
We'll see. Yeah.
And then we had that 3-day weekend in there too. So, of course, instead of playing games, I wound up going camping. And
so you're playing a little PUBG out in the real life, huh?
Exactly. I was living out my survivalist sort of fantasies there. And then you've touched on the biggest time sink, which has been PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which has just like every time I sit down to play a game, I think, I really should get back to like Little Nightmares or one of these other, 700 and some games that are in my Steam library. And then I'm like, but I could play Battlegrounds.
Hey, still need to get that chicken dinner, man.
I do. I have not made it to number 2. I think you were watching that time.
No,
right?
I was with you. We were on that field. It was
that's right. Yeah,
me, you, Ted, and Chris.
That's right, yeah, because everybody, we all got wiped out by that one guy.
One dude, yeah.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But that's the closest any of us has come. Well, maybe not. I think Ted and have Ted and Chris been getting some high rankings?
I don't know if they've gotten to number 1 yet.
I don't think they haven't won yet, but yeah. So that's I guess those are the biggest ones for me, and yeah, not very exciting, but. What about you?
Let's see. I have been busy with Overwatch Anniversary event, so trying to get some of those skins and failing absolutely miserably at that.
Which, is there one in particular you're going for, or is it just...
I've gotten soldiers and I've gotten divas, but I really don't like divas. Even though I'm a big diva person, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, the Heroes of the Storm... Diva one was pretty cool, so the anniversary one is not so much.
No, it's like a trucker type skin. Like, she's got like an air freshener hanging off of it. She's in like a Daisy Dukes and yeah.
All right. Well, if there's one thing I've always wanted out of Diva, it's for her to be a trucker. But
right.
All right.
Let's see. School is also keeping me busy. It's my last semester before I finally graduate again. So
congratulations, almost.
Thank you. And I've also been like really pushing hard in training for like programming. So I've been learning or refreshing my Java skills, learning some JavaScript. So it's I've been digging pretty deep into like Team Treehouse and Code School, trying to brush myself up for some job interviews and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, those are. I haven't had to do that in such a long time. So, are those both pretty good resources for like interactive?
Yeah. Team Treehouse is kind of my go-to. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to drop some cash on this stuff, that's probably the better one.
Okay. Nice.
Yes. A ringing endorsement that they're not paying me for.
Not yet.
Right.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, let's go ahead and chat about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds since both of you and I played it.
Yes.
It seems to be kind of a phenomenon right now. It's kind of broken out and a lot of people playing it, a lot of hype and virals about it. So
it's I'm actually pretty surprised. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what does it take to make something like this successful? And considering every game has like 99 people in it, I'm I'm curious about the longevity as far as like the matchmaking is super quick right now, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much you hit the button and you're in a lobby with 98 other people.
I've seen it drop all the way down to like 50 though. So
in a match?
In a match, yeah. Sometimes
I didn't know.
Yeah, it won't get to the full 100 or 50 people will crash.
This is equally likely, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Although you've had good luck for a while.
I've only crashed once while playing the game, so I consider myself lucky. Every time I get together to play with you guys, somebody like crashes or gets kicked out of lobby or something like that. It's early access, still buggy, but that's kind of, I think the next patch is going to be pretty focused on server stability. So hopefully we'll.
Yeah, I mean they're tweaking it every couple of weeks. It seems like so.
Yep.
Certainly it is evolving. I mean, have you enjoyed what you've played? I wasn't totally sure. You were playing some solo to start with, and
yeah, I wasn't digging it solo.
Yeah.
I've played a few solo games, and it's kind of funny. It's like the best experience is when you're with 1 to 3 of your friends on Discord and chatting, enjoying yourself, communicating. That's the best way this is played. Absolutely. Otherwise, like, I don't like playing as a squad if it's just randomized.
I would never play with. Well, God, the first thing I did when I joined the game was disable all the in-game communication because you get to that lobby with 98 other dickheads, as it turns out.
Yes. Well, what happened with me is I decided it's like, well, maybe the solo thing's not working out, so I'm going to go ahead and join a matchmaking, and I'm not going to turn on voice, but at least I'll be in a squad, right? And so we go up on the hill, and then everyone kind of spreads out. And like one person goes north, one person goes west, one person goes south, and I'm sitting there like, what the shit, guys? We're like,
so you're not really cooperating as a squad. You're just
so I just kind of stay put, right?
Yeah.
And I hear a vehicle pull up from another squad, and I'm like, oh shit! And then I hear one of my teammates coming with another vehicle, like he went and found a bike and he started to bring it towards. I'm like, okay, so he's coming towards me, so that signals to me, run out and jump in, right? So I run out, and as I get out to the open air, the 2 people who drove up start shooting at the motorcycle. And so he, of course, does not want to stop. So he just keeps going, leaves me out there in the open with 2 guys with me. So I just get destroyed. So that taught me, it's like, if I'm not playing with my friends, I'm going to run solo. Because at least solo, it's my own destiny, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think that... It's a very stressful game, and it requires a lot of constant communication, and I feel like if you're not doing it with some people you like, you're going to be in trouble. I feel like I probably made Ted angry last night because I accidentally team killed him.
The first game I played with anybody that wasn't solo was with Ted, and Ted shot me in the face to kill me. So he can.
Well, I just like I was saying, the game is very stressful, and I was playing, and I don't know what happened. I think he must have said that it was him, but I just held down the trigger. And until he fell down, and then I saw the blue name show up above him, and I'm like, oh no.
And he's like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, anyway. Think were you watching for that part, or
was
later?
Not. I was not.
Okay. So I felt pretty guilty. There's some visceral guilt when you when you team kill, but
yeah.
But it's still, I don't know, I'm enjoying it right now. I don't know if I'll always.
Yeah, I may need to. I will be out this weekend, so I may need to get some time in with you either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a couple more maps they're planning for it too, is what somebody was saying.
That'll be nice. Which
will be interesting. Although this one map, I still get plenty of mileage out of. I don't.
Yeah, it's. I still end up in new places all the time. So
absolutely, I was watching a video last night where they were at some sort of like nuclear facility. It looked like, and I have no idea where that is. So maybe next time.
Well, when I'm not playing PUBG, I'm actually beating other games. So let's figure out which games we beat together and conquering the pile. All right, first one we'll be talking about is NieR Automata. I did go ahead and beat this one. So let me see if I can get some.
When did you didn't start, was that a month or two ago? How long ago did you actually start this one?
I have no idea. No idea. I know I beat it on March 7th. No, that's when it released. I beat it on May 21st. So I probably started it early May.
And then you just kept at it, unlike some of the rest of us. I could name names, but Pete, it's me.
All right, so never in my many, many years of gaming have I had to beat a game 3 times in order to actually beat it. Also, never have I been given the option to help a completely random stranger in exchange for my save data. So these are only a few of the crazy things you're going to experience when playing NieR Automata. The game is set in the same universe as the original NieR game, and there are some Easter egg ties to the original game, but there's no direct narrative link. The game will take you through an emotional ride through the remnants of a broken and battered Earth taken over by aliens and their machines. Mankind escapes to the moon and sets up a project of androids to return to the surface to wipe out the machines and reclaim Earth for humanity. As you begin the game, you're in control of Yorha, Android Unit 2B, as your squadron is launched from the bunker on the moon to engage a Goliath-class machine on Earth. As you progress through the campaign, you're paired with a scout unit, 9S, who assists you in your mission. On the surface, you unravel the mystery of the aliens, discover some pacifist machines, and work to secure Earth for mankind. Now, after you complete the first playthrough of the game, you get to play through it again.
But not the same exact playthrough.
Not the same exact playthrough this time. You play from the perspective of 9S. So he plays differently. He utilizes hacking and gets a glimpse into the psyche of the machines, giving a new take on the same story. So you get to see kind of the other side of things. Also, there are a number of sections during the game that you are separated. So you're not with 2B. So when you're playing as 2B, you're like looking for 9S, so you're playing solo for a little bit. And then when you switch over to 9S's side, you get to experience it from his side and looking for 2B. And then after you complete that playthrough, the story continues again. So it's not until the actual third playthrough that you get to complete the main storyline. So, okay. Yeah.
Well, but you did beat it 3 times, so I guess that says something.
Right. I get a count as 3 off the pile, right? That's how it works?
I think so. I think that's how.
So one thing that can be said for this game for sure is the game is very pretty, especially if you get it on Steam and crank your PC up to high, but not 4K. Whew, that looks nice. So you begin the game in an abandoned factory outside of the city ruins, which is a broken down, overgrown husk of a major city with skyscrapers, parks, and highways. This is hundreds, if not thousands of years since humans have lived on the planet. So throughout the game, you'll experience a forest, a flooded city, desert, and more. The environments are all kind of separated out and are varied in theme. The desert is the only one that kind of changes gameplay a little bit as you slip and slide around on the sand dunes. Otherwise, it's just kind of different stuff to jump on.
All right. But pretty different stuff to jump on.
Yes, pretty different stuff. So, gameplay. This is where NieR Automata truly shines, especially in the first part of the game. Like, the first hour and a half is kind of a thrill ride that you should definitely at least rent and check out. So, within the first 30 minutes of gameplay, you're going to have played portions of the game as a bullet hell shoot 'em up, B, a 3D action hack and slash, C, a top-down dual-stick shooter, and D, a 2D platform shooter a la Contra.
Okay, that's an interesting variety of play styles.
The cool part is that the game kind of fluidly switches between these four types as you enter different parts of the stage. So the controls remain the same throughout, making it easy to transition. But one complaint is that sometimes the camera gets a little too carried away with itself. It'll transition to another kind of phase while you're in stuff and give you no control over the camera. And it can make it very easy to lose your character or not have enough on the screen to react quickly enough to incoming threats. So I hate it when games kind of take full control of the camera and don't give you any control. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, that's it's old school design, man.
Yep. So for when you're in control of 2B, you have a light attack, a heavy attack, a ranged attack, a dodge, target lock, jump, and a special pod attack. Depending on the weapon that you equip, and there are several weapon categories that you can find throughout the game, so spears, heavy swords, fist weapons, etc. The light and heavy attacks will do different speeds and power of attacks. So sometimes holding the button will charge the attack as well. Now, your range attacks come from your pod, which I mentioned earlier. And this is a small robot that kind of follows along with you, providing support, really stupid proposals, and more.
What? Okay.
So, it's one of those things where I think they explained during the game that the pods are there to assist the Android units, but they cannot give orders or direct them. So, but they give proposals. So it's like, proposal, please check out this thing.
Okay, interesting.
Proposal, don't stand in the front of bullets. Things like that.
It's like a tutorial.
Right. Your initial pod starts with kind of a Gatling gun, regular attack, and a charged laser second attack. As you proceed through the game, you can find other pods with other types of attacks, and they kind of merge together, so you have two pods wandering around with you. And when you do a laser shot, it will do it'll charge the first laser, and then if you keep holding, it will charge a second laser, and you'll hit together. So, all
right.
Now, throughout the world, you can also find items either on the ground or by fishing, because Square Enix was involved. They love their fishing.
Of course there's fishing.
Yeah. Or by defeating enemies. And that can be used to upgrade your pod, upgrade your weapons, and program chips. Now, you're an Android after all, so if you want to learn how to attack harder or evade better, you can install the program to do so. However, you have limited memory. So you can only run so many programs at once. Well, what this does is it forces you to tailor suit your character to match your gameplay strengths or shore up weaknesses. Now, combat usually revolves around hordes of enemies and or dodging giant orbs of death.
Okay.
Because all the enemies, they fire these orbs, these red orbs, and that's all it is dodging stuff. Now, one of the buttons I mentioned earlier is evade. Now, this one is so overly powered and broken.
Okay.
It's used to great effect here. If you dodge an attack, so they kind of do a charge up, just like, when the Batman game started this. They charge up and you see them flash and you hit the dodge. Now that, You completely dodge the attack, launch, you kind of phase out and go behind him, and then you counterattack for a huge, unchallenged time of damage.
Massive damage.
Yeah. So interspersed in the open world quests are, interspersed in the open world are quests and story and boss encounters that will truly test your timing and skill. Now, these bosses are usually kind of on the scale of Shadow Colossus type giant enemies that will have you dodging giant weapon attacks, targeting weak points to bring down the enemy, things like that.
So is on the combat front, I don't know that I've watched any videos. This is faster paced than Batman, I assume. This is definitely not like a Dark Souls deliberate combat, right? This is all...
No, it kind of depends on the weapon you pick. Like if you pick a giant old claymore, then you'll be a nice slow deliberate attacks. But most of the time you've got like swords and katanas and you're just like hacking and slashing like crazy.
All right. Nice. Yeah, I'm formulating an image in my head of it now.
So, NieR Automata is a game that will keep you guessing throughout the story and does have some unique gameplay elements, such as the 3 playthroughs and 26 different endings. Now, 21 of them are kind of joke endings. There's 5 like main storyline endings, and then there's like 21 kind of like... You would dig this game because most of these like joke endings come from the game tells you to do one thing and you say F off and you go do the other thing.
Oh no.
And that's usually when you get the joke ending.
Okay. Wow, I did not realize this. That's
The first one I got kind of accidentally was 9S's story began and you get a call from the commander that says, Unit 2B is in this part, you need to go assist. And if I looked down, if I moved the camera down, I could see my mech that I'm supposed to get into. But I didn't look down. And I was looking around kind of to see where I was, and I saw that there was like a button to press. And so I pressed the button, and this crane kind of like slowly lowers down and opens another pathway. And I'm like, oh, okay, that must be where I go. So I go running off, and all of a sudden joke ending kicks in, and it's like... 2B decides he wants to be a pacifist and screw this war and goes off by himself. And I'm like,
okay.
Oh, all right. I'll go with that.
Wow. So you beat the game like right off the bat.
Right. So the different modes of gameplay switching kind of keeps things interesting as well. It can get annoying at times. And the periodic camera issues, some annoying one-shot mechanics, and combat being mainly repetitive, evade, bash, attack, repeat, does knock off some points from this game. It doesn't really begin to shine until your second playthrough, so keep at it after the credits roll. Overall, I give this game 4 out of 5 machine cores. Nice.
So is it kind of Dynasty Warriors-ish? That's what it sounds like from the combat. I don't know. That's always sort of had a simplistic combat style from what I could tell, but oh my god.
Yeah, it's not... It's a little bit more nuanced than that, and it's not quite as many hordes of monsters most of the time. Sometimes there are.
Yeah, okay. And these endings, sorry, just one last thing. I'll let you move on to your other many games. The endings, is it... is there like a good and a bad ending, a major ending sort of thing? You said a whole bunch of them were the jokey endings, but...
right.
So... what actually decides it? Is there a decision point, or is it just like you played like crap?
So there's the main ending for 2B. There's another ending for 9S, and then there's a
third ending.
A third ending.
Yep.
But actually, in the third ending, it's a branch of 2 different endings.
Ah, okay.
So you can kind of choose ending 1 or ending 2, and then there's a true ending. And a new game plus type thing that you work through.
Okay. So, is that the one you had to give up your save to
do?
Okay.
Yeah. And so, guys, if you play through this and it says, do you want to delete your data? And it asks you 18 times if you're sure. It's not joking.
Did it really ask that many times? Is a whole bunch?
Oh, yeah. It's like, it was kind of funny. Like, you're playing through and it says, so you've been beaten and battered here, and you got some help. Mm-hmm. So would you, player, like to help out a random stranger as well? And you're like, sure. And it says, by doing so, you'll have to give up your save data. It's like, are you sure? Oh, yeah, sure. No, seriously. You worked really hard to unlock New Game Plus, all this stuff. You worked really hard on this. Are you sure you want to give that up? Yeah. Now, when I say random player, I mean random player. This could be anyone in the world. This could be someone you hate. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Friggin' seriously, dude. All your save data gone. Like, you'll start completely over. Are you really, really sure? Yes. Okay, well, screw you. Gone.
That sounds pretty intense. That's quite the experience.
Yeah.
Is there any guarantee that that person will actually win either? Or is this going to be,
No.
Is it asynchronous or is it real time?
So what kind of happens is you get into this kind of dual stick shooter type thing with the credits. It was kind of cool. The credits come down and like individual people you just like shoot once and they die, but then like department names and company names come down and they're like bosses and
take more damage. Yeah,
right. It starts to get really insane near the end, like really, really hard.
Yeah,
and when you finally get killed like 5 times, and it's mocking you every time you die.
Okay.
But after 5 times, it's like so and so offers their help. And you're like, okay. And then like 6 other people come in and all of a sudden your one cursor turns into 6 people and you start like spamming out bullets like crazy. But you can still get hit. If you get hit, one of them goes away and their data gets deleted.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So every time I got hit, I felt terrible.
Oh my gosh.
So I think I only lost like 2 people's data. But it was still, I felt so bad. But the thing is like, the thing is they already lost their data before that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's technically possible that you could probably help out 9 or 10 people, before you finally get toasted. So.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That is very intense. Well.
Yeah, yeah.
Better play it soon before everybody else beats it, and then there's nobody to help.
No one to help you. It's like, would you like to accept help? Never mind.
We take it back.
Up.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right. Well, enough about that.
All right. So after I beat NieR Automata, I decided let's go into kind of a more serious narrative game. And so I picked up. I dusted off my Xbox One. Updated it. That took like all afternoon.
It does take a while.
Put in new batteries in the controller. And had my Kinect looked at me and said, "Who's this guy?" Actually, I did, since I don't wear glasses anymore. I didn't know who the hell I was.
Nice. I think mine went through the same sort of, trials when I did it recently. It was like, why is this taking so long?
And I stuck in Quantum Break.
Ooh.
Yes.
I remember that one.
Yeah, Quantum Break is from Remedy Games, developers of Max Payne and Alan Wake. And here comes a game that was on my and Pete's radar as soon as it came out, and then just kind of sat there in the pile for a while.
Yeah, you actually picked it up. I don't think I bought it yet.
I think
I'll have
you
to double
bought
check.
it.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not. I might have. We'll have to check. How depressing is that?
Right.
All right.
I don't even know what's on my pile. So what kind of drew me in was the combat they showed off in the trailer we're playing right now. And it showed off using time powers such as stopping bullets, stopping time momentarily during movement, things like that. That seemed really cool to play around with. So when I got into it after updating everything, I got way more than I was expecting. So
all right.
Quantum Break is the story of Jack Joyce. He receives an urgent email from his childhood best friend, Paul, begging him to fly back home from overseas and help Paul with something.
Hate it when that happens.
Right. Jack flies home and meets Paul at his university to find out Paul has built a time machine. So when he's testing it, something goes wrong, and both Jack and Paul are hit with a massive amount of chronon particles. Yes, that's a thing in this game.
Of course it is.
And this gives them both the ability to manipulate time. They call themselves shifters. So Jack's brother, Will, who is actually the one who designed the core mechanic of the machine, enters the picture at this time and tries to stop the machine from melting down and causing a fracture in time. But at this moment, the building is invaded by a corporation that was funding the research known as Monarch. Not Monarch. Monarch. Monarch, beautifully. Yes. So Monarch invades the building and it's like using guns, trying to shoot and kill everybody. So this causes Paul to kind of get trapped inside the machine. So he escapes the only way he can, through time. Jack is outside the machine, so Jack and Will kind of both work their way slowly out of the university that's riddled with Monarch. And when they're about to make it out alive, they get spotted by a much older Paul. After these events, Jack has a purpose through the rest of the game that kind of leads the story. And I just don't want to give too much in the way of spoilers. So after each act where you play as Jack, you change perspective to the other side of things. You take control of Paul and are given a choice between one of two ways to proceed as the quote-unquote bad guys, as Monarch. So do you handle things quietly or do you go more brutal? That's just one of the choices. Now, the choice made here changes how the game plays. Some characters may die, some may live, things like that. So that gives some kind of replayability. So similarly to Life is Strange, you can see the immediate consequences of how each choice will play out before choosing it. And you can't see kind of overarching consequences, but you can kind of see the immediate effect. After you make this choice, the most unique part of the game commences. It transitions to a live-action cutscene that is more the length of a television show that shows you how things are going at Monarch. I almost said it again. Monarch. Monarch, beautifully.
It's just convinced it's Monarch.
And introduces you to characters that you may or may not meet later in the game. The production quality is decent, especially for a video game, TV series, I guess. And some of the acting talent is actually top-notch, including some well-known actors such as Aidan Gillen, who other people might know him as Littlefinger in Game of Thrones. Lance Reddick from The Wire and Fringe. He was also in the most recent John Wick movie. Sean Ashmore from the X-Men series, and other actors. Now, it's not going to win any Academy Awards, right? But it was decent enough to kind of keep engaged, and it was kind of nice. It's like you play for a while, you go through these stressful parts, so you put the controller down and kick back, and
you watch the Metal Gear Solid 2 credits or whatever. No.
So, gameplay-wise, the game is mediocre. Although you have some really cool time powers, almost all of them are strictly defensive. You will you'll end up using guns and murdering lots and lots of Monarch goons.
Okay.
So, even though you can stop time in many areas, you have to kill every goon in the area before you can proceed to the next area.
Well, yes, it's plot. I don't know, because of reasons.
It seems like a major misstep here, as with the powers Jack has and obtains throughout the game, it would have been really interesting to use these powers as more stealth or give access to like a pacifist type run like Deus Ex does. But you don't. You have to just murder everybody. And the game doesn't really explain like Jack's backstory. Like, was he in the military and knows how to use guns this well?
He had time.
He did. Why does he have no like reservation about just murdering tons of people? Like, yeah, I guess they're shooting at him, but you can stop time, buddy.
It does seem like killing everyone is less important when you can control time.
Yeah. So there's also a number of time-related jumping puzzle type areas where pieces of stuff will get caught in a time fracture and will move erratically while everything else is frozen. And you try to stop time in that localized area to keep it from moving, jump, and then before it wears off, try to jump off, stuff like that. Now, this will lead inevitably to really frustrating falls or instant deaths, followed by about a 30-second load time.
Well, at least it's not a 30-minute movie
Right.
every time you die.
Right. This is what happened now that you died because you suck at video games.
Right, your life went on without you.
It was really aggravating.
I could see that adding up. Having something like that take you down would be pretty aggravating.
Yeah, and especially after it's 10 seconds into the level.
Oh.
It's like you wait 30 seconds, you run, you jump, fail, wait 30 seconds. Like, come on, just load me back at the beginning, man.
Yeah.
So,
oh my goodness.
What also holds this game back is a number of bugs.
Oh, really?
In the first level, I'm running into this area and a whole bunch of goons come off the elevator. And I go to take cover, and instead I instantly teleport directly in front of all the goons.
No.
Awkward.
You weren't trying to do that? Was that wrong?
Now, what I loved most about the game, though, was its treatment of time travel. Now, I can't say much here, as it's actually a key tenet of the plot. But they do lay down a set of rules for time travel in the game, and they stick with it. And that's a lot better than a lot of time travel TV shows, movies, games, things like that, where it's kind of, they just use it as a crutch to do whatever they want with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, overall, the game is a pretty short excursion, and a good chunk of it was watching the TV show between the acts. Now, I enjoyed the story and the storytelling, but was not a huge fan of the gameplay, though using the time powers was pretty fun. The bugs, the long-ass freaking load times between deaths, and the forcing of gunplay bring the score down to a 3 out of 5 chronon particles.
Oh, well. But still worth a playthrough if you're interested in some time travel sci-fi action, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely worth playing. And especially if you get it at a good price.
May or may not be on my pile.
Now, if you have the opportunity to just rent it from somewhere, I would do that over buying it, because there's no multiplayer, and you can beat it in an afternoon if you try really hard. So, not worth paying a full price. Well, if you can get it for cheap, go for it.
I guess my gold standard for time travel games that I actually enjoyed was Singularity. I don't remember. Have you played that one?
I haven't beat that one, no.
That one I really enjoyed. That was a first-person shooter one, but I think it was well done. And then my low benchmark is Time Shift, and it sounds like this probably falls somewhere in between those. So I'd recommend Singularity. I would not recommend Time Shift.
Okay.
If you have to pick another time travel game.
All right. Life is Strange kind of tops mine, but...
Well, I guess that's true, right? Yeah. I'll get to it.
All right, so my third one... I'm taking all the spotlight here. Pete, you want to take your review?
Yeah, let me talk about my games. Oh, shoot. My cat ate the notes. How about you? You go this time. I'll get it next time.
All right, I'll go ahead and pick up the third one here. All right, so after a couple of strong emotional and narrative games, I needed kind of a breather. So I picked up a Japanese action RPG that's been sitting on my pile for a while. I grabbed it on a whim during a holiday sale last year. It's called Nights of Azure, and it's from Koei Tecmo and Gust, and
Strong Wind.
Yes. Now, long ago, a powerful demon known as the Night Lord appeared, bringing death and destruction to the world. Humanity rose up and defeated the Night Lord, but on his death, he released a shower of demonic blood. Those that came in contact were transformed into demonic fiends. These fiends came out at night to hunt and kill people, thus robbing humanity of the night. An order was created to prevent the return of the Night Lord, whose essence and power remains. A line of saints periodically sacrifice themselves to seal the Night Lord away for another period of time. To assist them, the Curia Order finds holy knights to protect the saint until the sacrifice is complete. Enter one of the holy knights, Arnis, who is assigned to protect the new saint Lilith. However, they had been friends for many years and have a strong relationship already. Arnis is a special knight, as when she was doused with the blue blood, instead of turning into a fiend, she discovered she was a half-demon and is able to collect the blue blood without turning. The more she collects, the more powerful her demon abilities become, and the harder it is to keep her humanity. So, this game bounces around between a very serious, very campy, and just what the humor a lot with the storylines.
All right.
Also, the game isn't particularly good at tying up loose ends and answering questions. After completing the game, you'll get one of 3 endings, depending on your relationship with the Saint. And then after beating the game, you can do an epilogue and New Game Plus and unlock through lots of grinding 2 other endings.
Okay, what is
lots
it doing? Three try games here.
Right. This time, I'll admit, I got one ending, and I considered that my ending, and then I just YouTubed the other ones. So
okay, not we're spoiling the end of it. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. Now, the story is broken into 7 chapters and is walled off, with each map only opening at certain times in the story. So this is not an open world game by any means. Now, when doing the main story quest, you enter an area of the map at night and kill fiends and demons that spawn in. Your demonic abilities gain you access to the demon sword Jorath that can change based on your will as you get more powerful. You start with a basic sword, but will gain access to daggers, a gun, a warhammer, and a longsword. Each have their own strengths and weaknesses and change how your servants act. Now, servants are fiends that you have bound to yourself through a blood oath. You're allowed 4 fiends out at a time that you can summon, each with different abilities and strengths, such as like Ents are high defense, while Fays work with magic, etc. Now, after chaining combos, you kind of build up a demon gauge, and when you max out, you can hit L2 to go full-on demon for a short while and just completely wreck Face. Now, you also unlock a bunch of random features like quests ranging from your kill X number of certain fiends to show up at X spot. You unlock an arena with different challenges to overcome that give rewards. Daytime activities to do to raise your stats like cooking, running, shopping. You don't actually do these. You just put in your menu. It's like, during the daytime, I want to go shopping and get stamina. And
it just happens.
Yeah, and then every night when you go hunting, it involves another day cycle, meaning you have time to do those activities and get stats. How it works is like you can level up your character pretty easily. Just like if you're watching Netflix, just every 5 minutes you walk out, you stand out at the entrance, wait for 5 minutes to tick by, walk back in, and 5 minutes is enough to trigger a day cycle.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of silly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the fighting, this is kind of an action RPG. So the fighting is kind of fun. The story is odd but endearing. And there are many pitfalls in the game, however. A lot of times with the quest, it's going to tell you a location. But in each location are many sub-locations. There are no markers or indicators at all as to which way is which sublocation, and often you won't know which one is which. The in-game information is also missing a number of key elements, and I had to rely on Google a lot to figure some stuff out. Such as, there are more forms for your demon form than the default one. But nowhere in the game does it tell you how to get them. It references in some of your skills the other forms. Like there was a skill I got that says phantom form time increased. I'm like, what this phantom form? Like, how do I get that? So I'm looking through the in-game encyclopedia and the battle guide and all that. I don't see anything about that. So I Google it, and so if anyone's playing this game or plans to play the game, here's how you do it. Each servant will have a little color marker at the bottom with a strength ranging from 1 to 5. The 4 servant spots, the leftmost one is the leader, and it'll have a little 2x thing on it. The leader servant will double the effect of the strength. So you need a combined strength in your deck of at least 10 of that color to use that form instead of the default. But I had to Google that. That's not intuitive whatsoever.
It seems like they would have told you that at some point. That seems very very specific. That,
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, oh, look, I happened across this. It's like, no, you have to you have to structure everything.
Well, it's like
that way.
I saw it. I saw I saw that it had the different colors and different strengths, and I had no idea what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
I kept looking for stuff, tried to figure out what it meant. Couldn't find it. So, nah.
Oh my gosh. Do you pick those servants at the start or just pick them up during? I can't remember.
You kind of pick them up during. So, the way you can usually get servants is sometimes they'll just like their fetish will drop at random from a monster, and then you can commit the blood oath with this fetish to actualize the demon and connect it to you. And then sometimes there will be demon merchants that have fetishes for you to just purchase.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, interesting.
Yeah. Other pitfalls of this game. Sometimes when you enter an area and realize you went the wrong way, you can turn right around and walk back out. Other times you can't. So you enter an area and it's like, well, crap, that's the wrong way to go, and have to go back to town and start all over again. But hey, at least I got to go shopping.
Yay! Oh my goodness.
Combat is often quite repetitive. For max play, it's fun kind of using your servants to chain combos together while you're running to the next mob. But if you're not playing at that level, it's mainly find a power combo that works for you, bash it repeatedly, and repeat. Because there are some like status debuffs and stuff like that some monsters will give, but it's usually not powerful enough or damaging enough to really worry about. One small issue I have is also there's no jump button. Now, you would think I would get used to this after playing it for so many hours. I didn't. The normal jump button, X would be your normal jump button, right? That would make the most sense, but that's actually your special attack button. Now, this wouldn't be a major issue, except for a lot of the combos actually launch you into the air like a jump, so my brain does not equate no jumping. So I would frequently hit my special move when there was no one around, when I was just trying to look cool by jumping and attacking something when initiating combat. Even late in my playthrough, I would do this frequently.
Oh my goodness. Well,
X is also the talk with or interact with button. And so sometimes you'll walk up to something, you'll get a little icon that says you can interact, and you nudge the cursor just enough where it interact stops, and you do your combo and waste all your special points. And I was like,
that is an interesting decision that they would reuse that one. Huh. Okay.
So, by no means is this a AAA title. You're not going to get a AAA title quality out of this game. Animations are stiff. Character dialogue is really crappy. About 4 different times in the game, you spend a good 30 seconds just watching it go between different characters, each saying Ohio to each other. So that's another thing. It's all Japanese with subtitles. Oh, and sometimes the subtitles don't turn on.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. It's like
I hope you brushed up on your Japanese.
So I don't know what they just said. Crap. But the story is kind of fun. The characters are interesting. And beating up demons is always cathartic. Good times. Mm-hmm. So, Nights of Azure will score a 2.5 out of 5 Grimmelkins for me.
Ah, well, it didn't sound like, did you ever have any, real challenging parts, or was it mostly just...
It's mainly the bosses. The bosses seem to be highly tuned towards a specific level. So, typically, if you are getting your butt kicked, you can go back, grind a little bit, level up, and then come back. That seems to work each time. So, yeah, last boss was a pain in the butt.
Okay, did it take a long time to beat? I
died frequently, and then I went back and grinded and leveled up, and then I was able to one-shot it, but it was still very difficult.
Oh my goodness. Well, you want to go do it a bunch now? Wait, no, you watched all the videos. Never mind.
Yep. I want to delete my save to help someone else.
Help somebody else beat the game. Nice. Oh well. Well, congratulations on a triple play here. Well, this is not a triple play. It's three home runs. I don't know. What's baseball?
I don't know. I don't know what is baseball. I don't know.
What is baseball?
Sports ball. All right. Well, let's figure out what we added to the pile because we can do that pretty well. In Can't Stop, Won't Stop. All right. So, Pete, what did you pick up?
Yeah, actually, you'll be surprised to learn I did purchase some things.
What?
I know,
That never happens.
in spite of not beating anything, but I did add more to my pile. So, yeah, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which isn't a beatable game, but it's consuming most of my time.
I say you can scratch off your pile when you get the chicken dinner.
Okay, that may never happen. We'll see. My
you'll never beat a game either. So
burns.
Sick burn 0.
Oh my god. And then I bought that Humble Bundle, the Adult Swim one, so I wound up with Headlander, which is one that I've been interested in for a while. It's got a cool soundtrack, and I think it's by the Double Fine people. And then it had Rain World in there as well, which I've heard sort of mixed reviews about. And then not in the Adult Swim bundle, but perhaps an adult game, is Deep Space Waifu.
You guys were talking about that during my wonderful fence debacle, so.
Yes, no, so it's like burned into your mind now.
Yes.
So yeah, that one, I've actually almost beat that one, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I lack the commitment to beat it in one playthrough like everybody else I gave it to.
Yeah, for
And
me,
did you let us down here?
I picked up Actually, I didn't buy anything. You gave me PUBG. I did buy a game for someone else as a gift. I picked up Injustice 2 for somebody. So.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to throw it into my Xbox first and play it a little bit. Just make sure it works. Make sure the disc is okay.
Quality control, yeah. Well, did you play the first one or no?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I'm not a big fighting game person, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess the new one actually has, I guess, a interesting story. I don't know. I'm not too much into DC comics or.
Yeah, I've got
Marvel
a friend who is
either.
really deep into DC, so.
Okay.
His wedding ring is a Superman ring, so. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
That is commitment.
All right, so I want to chat about Nintendo Switch Online, as there has been an update to that since our previous discussion on it.
Oh my god.
It seems a lot better now.
Yeah, well, it's I guess it's improved. I don't know. I don't see a compelling reason to buy a Switch still.
No,
so I guess that's my problem.
Once you get one, the online thing is not bad because you will get to download a compilation of classic titles, and they even add online play to some of the games, like Dr. Mario and Super Mario Brothers 3. So that's cool. Before it was, I think you got one game that rotated every month. Like,
I think that was the initial statement.
Right. These are NES games. I can get a Raspberry Pi and put them on there. It's like
you could hypothetically.
It's less value than like PS Plus, who actually gives you new games to play every month. But also, just like in PS Plus and Xbox, to open up your online lobby and voice chat. And one thing I saw in there, it says set play appointments. I think that's pretty cool. I wish both PS Plus. I think PS Plus might have added that actually. Or maybe
play
it's Xbox.
Appointments. I didn't see that. What was just like?
You can basically
on a calendar kind of thing,
right? Like we could do our Tuesday night thing and put that on a calendar or something like that. I think that'd be pretty
that's
cool.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's kind of nice from a collaboration perspective.
You can also control that all from your smartphone, so that's cool.
How much? I thought a bunch of it had to be done from your smartphone, like the
I
voice
think most of it
chats.
has to be done from your smartphone.
Yeah, so it's.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like having Discord or something.
Right. Yeah, a little bit.
But you're right. They did improve things like the free game sort of situation improved a bit. And,
right. And the price, they finally came out with the price, and this one's reasonable. It's $20 for the year or $4 a month. So.
Yep. No, it's. I guess it's much cheaper than the competing options. But
yes. Yeah, especially if you can do the same thing that you do with PS Plus and Xbox and get like a year one at a discount from Amazon or something like that every so often.
Oh yeah. No, it's not a bad deal for that, but yeah, we'll see how this thriving Switch community does.
Yeah. Now the good part is that it's not even going to be available until 2018.
Yes, yeah, it's free. Well, yes. I don't know what services are there right now. Like, it's free until 2018.
Yeah, online gameplay, but you don't get any of the voice chat or lobby, the classic games or the eShop deals until they launch that.
Okay, so that was the deal. Yeah, that's just...
Yeah, they said they'll have a free limited version of the app that might allow you for like chat and online voice sometime this summer, and it'll be free until they launch it. So
until they come out with the rest of the functionality in a year.
Right.
Or I guess 6 months, maybe. I don't know when in 2018 it's happening. But
yeah. Well, so if you want to add more stuff to your pile, have I got a whole bunch of deals for you this time?
It's going to be a bad time.
But it's on sale.
Shut up and take my money!
All right, Good Old Games summer sale is on now through June 20th, so you can check that out for a number of different games with good discounts, including, I know Witcher 3 is on there, Neverwinter's 2, Dragon Age Origins, System Shock 2.
Supposed to be quite good, but again, I think I have that one and I haven't played it yet.
Honey Pop is on sale for $2.49.
Oh, and that's one our gaming group seemed to enjoy quite a bit.
Yep. Inside, 40% off.
Yeah. Play it.
Yeah. So a whole bunch of games. You can check those out. We're not going to list them all off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all day.
Too many.
Now, here's the fun thing. If you have PS Plus on your PS4, you can pick up Killing Floor 2. I didn't even know that was on consoles.
I also didn't realize.
And here's the big one. Life is Strange. So you can go buy it on another platform and not play it, Pete.
Yeah, fantastic. And again, I won't have to buy it because I think you gave me my copy.
Yes, I gave you a copy.
Everybody's trying to get me to play it, even PlayStation.
And then crossplay on the Vita. So Vita and PS4, you can pick up Neon Chrome and Spy Chameleon. On the PS3, you can unlock Abyss Odyssey and World Rally Championship 5.
Not a bad haul.
Yeah. And pretty good haul also on the Xbox Live Games with Gold this month. So you can pick up Speedrunners, Watch Dogs, and Phantom Dust on the Xbox One. And on the 360, backwards compatible, and also on Xbox One. Because they are backwards compatible, as I just said, because I repeat myself. You can pick up Assassin's Creed 3 and Dragon Age Origins.
Sure. I don't know. Was Assassin's Creed 3 the buggy one, or is that 4?
I can't remember. I stopped playing after, like, 2.4 or whatever it was. It was... Yeah.
I lost track.
Yep. So a couple humble bundles going on right now. The Adult Swim Games bundle that Pete mentioned before is still on for the next few days. And now they also have kind of a anime visual novel bundle, the Sakai Project bundle. And so you can check those out if you're interested in those types of games.
Yep, we were talking about that one before the show, so I guess you'll be hearing what games were in that bundle next week, because I'll be adding them to my pile.
And you can check out a link to both of those bundles in our show notes, or just by going to humblebundle.com. All right, well, let's figure out what we're going to be up to next in coming attractions. All right, Pete, what are you going to be up to?
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. There's going to be probably a lot more of that. Although I need to get my performance worked out a bit if I'm going to stream it more. It's a finicky game. But I also recently started playing around with categories in Steam, and so I've been sorting things in there. Like when I kind of go through the list occasionally, and go, oh, what's this? And I've been putting things up towards the top in the category if I want to play them. So I've added a bunch of interesting games to that, but I need to pick ones that I can beat. But I kind of want to play Homefront: The Revolution, which is in that list. Although I still need to beat Little Nightmares, so probably one of those two will be the next beatable game.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, no idea, man. I've been on a roll, so I need to keep it going. I'm thinking Borderlands 2. I've been meaning to beat that for a while. It's like we pick that up on our Tuesday nights, and they kind of stop, and then we would start over again, and then stop, and so I need to just like stick with it and play and beat it.
I guess I need to beat it with you since I've aborted that one so many times.
I started playing again, and I had no friggin' idea where I was in the story. I had no idea what was going on.
Yes, I know that feeling.
Oh.
Well, let me know if you want to play it sometime.
Okay, all right, sounds good. If we're not playing PUBG.
No, exactly.
All right, guys, if you'd like to game with us, you can find links to all of our different gaming profiles and more in the show notes of each episode at poshame.com. All right, well, you can join me on Steam at Chai Tea, and hit me up on Overwatch. The competitive season has started, and I'm effing terrible, so I need someone to be effing terrible with. It's Chai Tea, pound 1806. Pete.
You're not actually terrible. I'm the terrible one. But yeah, I would encourage people to join me most Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time for whatever Wednesday, the Pile of Shame stream on Twitch, P.O. Shame. Yeah, come and encourage me to play whatever garbage I happen to be playing that week.
All right, guys. Well, to get in contact with the show, email us at show@poshame.com. Pete, how can everyone best reach us?
I'm glad you asked. So you are at _Chai Tea.
I am.
Chai. Yeah, you are. I'm at Fighting Viper sometimes. Totem, our dearly departed co-host, is at Totemly Drunks TTR. He's still with us. He's just in another state from his normal other state.
Yes.
And you can follow the show at P.O. Shame, of course.
All right. Guys, conquer the pile and don't quit. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with more content to add to the pile. Until then, don't get smothered by your pile of shame.
I rolled a 20.